in our heads and in our hearts to find out again, what is it that you want? Why did you want to be in LF in the first place? And is it a good time for you now? Some of you have never taught, some of you have taught, it's been a long time. So we're all coming at different spots, which is really a great way for a class to begin. The other purpose that we have for this course is to help facilitate partnership. You know, partnership is so important. Often we can do something on our own. It seems so easily to do it on our own. And then when we partner with somebody else, all of a sudden we have these bumps that we didn't anticipate. So we will be practicing partnership with each other on this course, and you will have a partner for the duration of the course. And so I'm just really happy that you're here and that you took a step forward.
One piece about that partnership is we want you to hold it in the context as if you're developing a course with that partner. So when we'll have some assignments that you'll do, and those are really about looking at how would you do a course? How would you do this part of a course? How would you set up this part? How do you build team? So when you're working with that, we want to make it as real as possible so that you get that experience. So go at it from that standpoint as if the two of you are putting something together like that. It's not just, you're not intending just to support relationship. What are your life shocks and how's it going? You know, does that make sense to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
So we're going to enter a breakout room so that you can just have some minutes in a small group, either pairs or triads, to just share why are you here. You'll each have 5 minutes. Let somebody be the timekeeper. I think probably partners would work, Karen. And just, you know, share a little bit about yourself and why you're here.
Do you want the rooms now?
Yes, please.
Okay, just give me a moment.
Hello, Reef Away. Good to see you here.
Yeah, good morning, good evening. So sorry to join so late. My mind drifted. Apologies for
That's
coming.
okay. You're here now, and that's what matters. And we did delay the start because of several things. So you're just coming right at the beginning, so it's perfect.
We haven't started actually going in. This pair share is the first part of the beginning. So
Briefly, how do you pronounce your last name?
Mokonyani.
Say that again.
Mokonyani.
Okay,
Thank you.
it's a beautiful name.
Amina, are you okay to go into a room?
shouldn't
No.
need to. It should be an even number of participants. Well, maybe not. Let me see.
If you do
No, it
pairs,
is
it'll
an
be
odd
even
number.
number,
Sorry,
right?
Karen. Yeah.
There's one that's not, but maybe I can change the rooms up.
Put me in there. That's fine. Pair me up with somebody.
Okay.
I might have to make Sylvia host
That's fine.
to be able to go into a room. All right, Karen, you might see me as an option.
Oh, I didn't see you as an option. I don't see you as an option yet either. Colette, can I maybe put you into a room with a participant? Okay, great. And okay, hold on. I'm gonna create the rooms and I might move someone into a room afterwards. How long do you want them to be in the rooms?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
10 minutes total. So you'll be responsible for sharing the time with your partner. And just talk about why you were here, why you decided to say yes and take up some of your Saturday.
Greg and Jen, did you get an invite to go into a room?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
So I'm going to send you to room 5 with Colette. Did you get the invite, Jen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Well done, team. For some reason, my Zoom is clicking in and out. I'll see your picture, then I don't. I'll see your picture, and then you don't. Is
I
that
can see
just
the
me?
light flashing on your face.
Hmm.
I've never had this happen before.
And you've used
So
that computer for other Zoom meetings, right? No.
Yeah.
Lena?
So Dita's having an issue to come in, and she is extremely triggered and ticked off right now. So I've
Okay.
told her I need to phone someone else. I have to get off the call with you, because in her mind everything is ridiculous and we being stupid and ridiculous. Somehow, whenever she clicks on a link, it says she needs a commercial account and the host needs to authenticate her. And I said, it hasn't happened for any of us.
Okay, that
Because-
happened with me, Amina. So
Oh,
what
did it
I
happen
did
to
is
you?
literally,
Okay.
yeah, that happened with me. So all I needed to do was actually sign into my own Zoom account. So instead of join the meeting, you first sign, when it gives you that prompt, you sign in and then it allows you to come in through this link.
She is signed in. It's still not working. I've asked her to sign out, sign back in again. I've sent
Oh.
her the link. I've sent her the ID code. I've sent her the password.
Okay.
I've told her to go onto both your email and Ross's email and check from either one of them. So she's very upset and says she's still trying to join. I don't intend to pay for recordings of sessions, because I said, if it really is that stressful, maybe join the next one and you'll get this recording.
Mhm.
Because it's quite upset right now.
I'm gonna rewrite that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame, but you know, that whole thing about trusting the life shocks. I don't know why she's having this kind of an experience, but
And unfortunately, according to her, sometimes things only has to be one particular way. So
mhm.
I've suggested, well, here's a new way that Zoom is showing you to sign in today, you know. But here's also the ID code and the passcode, because that's how she normally signs in. So
Mhm.
she didn't understand about clicking on the link. So I
Mm.
explained there's different ways. And perhaps she needs to refresh the computer, etc. So she's
Yeah.
still saying I'm trying to join.
It's that whole thing about,
Ross, is the recording off for right now?
no, I'll pause it.
It's fun to see people that previously, you know, they were just a name on a Zoom call or a name on an email or Facebook, and to really see them as live human beings is quite different.
Yes, it is really.
Mhm.
See how much they've changed from their profile picture.
I never considered that actually, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have less and less hair, you know, so.
I think it's time I changed my profile picture.
Mm. Well, you ought to take a picture today. That's what you have on is beautiful. It'd be a great profile picture.
You look very beautiful today. I was noticing that. So please get a new picture.
I mature well.
So welcome back. I hope that was helpful to have a little outflow and connection with other members of the class.
So what we want to do at this point, probably you've seen the names of the classes, so you got a little bit of a picture of what was going to happen during this time that we're going to be together. Those were names, though they didn't really give you an idea. And part of what we'll be doing is we're going to be using some of the more to life processes, obviously, and some things like that, but we're putting together in such a way with a flow that we're hoping it creates a journey through these 6 sessions, and that each session feeds into the next. So some things that you'll see will be familiar to you. Quite a bit of it will be familiar to it, but it'll be focused in particular ways. Now, the other thing that we accounted for in the design here is that we accounted for a wide range of experience. We knew that this course, and hopefully it gets offered after this repeatedly, that it becomes an educational course to help LFs develop, that people would be coming in with no experience all the way to experienced facilitators. So we want it to be an engaging class. I know that we're all going to learn something, but I'm not sitting here thinking I have particular pieces to teach anyone, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like we're making soup together. So what I'd like to do now first is to share a screen with you. It's a little wordy, but it's a little more drill down into what each class will be offering us. It didn't share the right screen. Why would it do that? Oh, screen 2.
I don't know if you know that children's book, Stone Soup. It's about creating a soup. I think that's funny, Raina Shay.
Well, I guess it's not going to pick up my second screen, so let me move this stuff over. Well,
If this-
Sylvia, I think we're all getting to live your edge today.
Oh,
Okay.
one of the things that we were absolutely certain about is that we wanted to have a safe and conscious environment in this class where you can just be yourself and say what's true for you. And, you know, we'll have some difficulties along the way, like we've had with technology today. And, you know, just trust yourself and let's trust each other, and we will walk down this path together.
All right.
Good.
Not quite as I am getting all kinds of weird messages. I cannot minimize Zoom Workplace while I'm recording. Okay, didn't want to.
Can someone else share that screen for you, Russ?
No, it's here. I just gotta give me a sec. This is like somebody was saying, they've changed some of how Zoom works, and so I think that makes things a little bit more interesting.
And that's one thing for all of us to go ahead after this call and update our Zoom, make sure we have the latest one, because it will get kind of messed up if you don't have the latest update.
So are y'all looking at something that's got a stack of blue boxes on the left?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, it's not quite as big as I wanted, but that's all right, and we'll go with this. So this talks a little bit about the contents in each of the 6 sessions, just to give you an idea of what the flow is going to be like and some of the things that we're going to be covering. We're also aware that there will be facilitators who aren't very Zoom savvy. So there's going to be some information in here about how to present online courses and what kinds of things to look for. So in this session today, why I want to be an active LF. So we want to look at your purpose and fire, getting that fire about being a facilitator, and what gets in the ways, fears, challenges, concerns, and just look at that. Because oftentimes I know when I'm trying to build a course, I'll get stuck in some things, or my mind talk will get me about something. So first we want to get some of that understood and cleared away. And then next is how to get started. About enrollment, about actions and activities that are part of building class. So it's a little bit, there's some tactical and there's some information about enrollment. Overcoming fears and challenges, starting a course and planning, exploring highlights of the course. Why would somebody want to enroll in a particular course? And what is it about you that would attract somebody to take your course? We all have our own value presentation, the things that we're strong at, the things that we're interested in, that can become part of how we enroll people is how we go about leading it, facilitating it ourselves. And then what's an elevator speech? We'll look at how can we talk about this in a way that's concise and really gets people's attention. Then we look at using that speech and talk about 4 different kinds of prospects. And how to approach each one of those. So customizing that so we get better and better at talking to prospects. And then how to use particular enrollment points for each of that kind of person. Because having those conversations it can get difficult. And the more you know about how to build those and how to identify what might interest somebody, the better those are going to go. Then we'll go back into enrollment, about conversational skills, empowerment skills, how to use that. How do you identify, like if I'm having a conversation with Sylvia, how do I know which one of those 4 prospect types she is? And then how do you customize a conversation on the fly? And then finally, it's about building preview events, how to do that, and building a team, and any needs for the team. So we tried to make a balance of experiential and personal growth and exploration, along with some of the tactical stuff. We didn't want it to all be tactical because that gets a bit dry after a while. So that's the plan of the flow. And we'll see how it goes. Any questions before I stop sharing? All right.
And we do want to work with our support partner as if they are your co-facilitator on a course, the course you're building together. So we're going to be practicing our partnership, practicing our leadership. It's that flow with somebody else where somebody steps forward, the other person steps back, and then you go back and forth. It's a lot easier in theory than sometimes it is in actually doing it. So you'll have a partner in this class, and it may or may not be the partner you end up offering a class with, but I think it'll be a good experience in co-creating.
That's one of the things about that is in partnership, it often reveals growth edges for us. And I know when I first started partnering with people, one of the things that it took me a bit to learn was trusting that the other person was for me and not holding back or being defensive or something. So we'll all have different edges at different times. And that's the other thing we want these support partnerships to help with, is to show what your current edge is and help you work on that. Okay. Yeah, Sylvia, you talked about a safe and conscious environment. There is the confidentiality about we don't share outside of the class. We want this to be a safe space, and we don't want people going out. It's great to share your experience, just not anybody else's. And then agreements. Karen, did you want to display the agreements?
I think Amina was going to.
Amina? Okay. So they're pretty simple. We've worked with agreements before. Show up on time, and on time is the start time, but we recommend and appreciate if you're able to get here a few minutes early. Like Sylvia said a little bit earlier, we typically do a crisp start. And this way, if you're having any kind of hardware issues or something, you have some time to contact us, work it out. We can support you. Participate fully. Participate fully. Each of us gets to make a decision about what fully is, but just notice how you're being in the class. All of this is an experiential examination of how we're showing up and what's getting in our way. We'd like you to turn off other electronic devices just so that you're not getting distracted by something. If you're participating on your phone, obviously you need to leave that on. If you're on a computer and you have some reasons you need your phone available, just try not to engage with it unless there's some emergency sort of situation. We'd like you to meet. The agreement is to meet with your support partner between classes. Obviously, we're pretty spread out around the world, so that likely is going to be online. And we can talk about that a little bit more later. And complete assignments impeccably. And impeccably is not perfectly, it's to the best of your conscious ability. And again, it's another opportunity for us to hone our skills and look at how we're working with something. Any questions about the agreements? All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Will the Zoom timer be used so that we don't have to use our own phones to keep time?
I don't know if the Zoom timer carries into breakout rooms. We can use it in the main room. I've never tried to use it in a
Okay.
breakout.
Okay. If it can be used, that'll assist us in turning off our telephones.
That's true.
You can, when you make breakouts, you can set a time, and that is helpful, so we know we'll see it counting down.
Mhm. And then just be aware of how much time each individual has, if it's a pair or quad or triad.
So as we were designing this class, and I just want to say Beth McAlpine from South Africa was also on our team and doing this design with us, and then her schedule just got too full, but she is sending her love and her wants for us to have a class that really fits a need for people. Because when you're thinking about offering a class, I mean, it's like open season on fear to come up, being afraid about enrolling the team. How am I going to enroll them? Are they going to support me? Blah, 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 blah. How do I enroll participants? Maybe I think I've talked to everybody that I know immediately. And how do I get beyond that? Maybe it's about marketing. Maybe your experience online is limited and you've got some fear about how you would market it. Or maybe just some fear about being the leader of a class. But it's so perfectly normal to have lots of fears going into something. And part of our mission here today is to just look at those fears and tell the truth about them. As you know, through your More to Life work, once you tell the truth about your fears, they have a way of getting smaller. So just close your eyes for a moment and take a breath. Think, what challenges to your self-esteem are you seeing for starting a class? Just take a breath and see what's there. What does your mind talk about yourself as a facilitator? Okay, you can open back up. And there may be many, many as we go into, we'll find many more fears than we started out with. But I found that a really good tool to use when I'm feeling fearful or nervous is the drivenness generator. That it's part of the licensed facilitator material. It's also part of the More to Life weekend. So I'm wondering if anybody is willing to work with a drivenness generator. Ross is going to put a generator up, and to brave enough to do a little exploration about what are you afraid of when you're thinking of me as a LF. I have to, or else is generally the way we start a drivenness generator. So who might be willing to work with me on the drivenness generator? Okay, Dita, thank you. So you can go ahead and take yourself off mute. And everybody just take a breath and just be with Dita. So Dita, when you were thinking about running a class, what are some of the expectations and demands that you have of yourself? I have to
know it all.
I have to know it all.
I have to be able to answer all the questions properly.
Mhm.
Yes. I have to be able to know the work substantially and deliver a good class without stumbling. If I'm partnering with someone, I need to be able to feel their energy and work with them. And also, I have to look like I know what I'm doing, or else people are going to think that I am a fraud or a failure, that I shouldn't be teaching this work. and that I'm taking their money for nothing.
Okay, let's take a
Um,
breath here and we'll let Ross catch up with us under the or else. People will think I'm a
sorry.
fraud. People will want their money back.
Yeah.
Keep going, Dita.
People won't trust me. I will not believe in myself, and I won't trust myself. I will be too scared to take a chance. So I have to do better than other people. I
Or else?
have to, or else people will know that I'm not good enough. I have to be able to find a good venue, and I have to find enough people. And to do that, I have to believe in myself, or else the course will fail before it begins. The trainers won't believe in me, and I will have failed myself again.
Very good, Dita.
Yeah.
You can go ahead
And
and
if
stop.
I fail, yeah.
Yeah, what a brilliant
Okay.
start to the drivenness generator. Now, Dita didn't know she was going to do this, but obviously those thoughts have been entering your mind, right, Dita? Have they been a
Yeah.
bit of a stumbling block to you going forward?
Yes, actually quite a lot. You know, I haven't actually taught a class at all yet, and when we did our A phase, it was in COVID, so we couldn't do. I'm only qualified for C so far, and I've done all the courses, but I have only taken A phase for C. Would like to continue, but we couldn't teach C online. So my other fear is I've forgotten everything and I have no right to teach it. So yes.
Yes, you're being quite hard on yourself, aren't you, Dita? Raise your hand if you have some of the same
Oh,
ideas
yeah.
that Dita has. Look around, Dita. We basically all share
Thank you.
bits and pieces of your mind talk, and thank you for being courageous enough to share it. So if you'll take a blank piece of paper, let's acknowledge Dita first.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being
Thanks.
brave. And just on your blank piece of paper, just draw a drivenness generator. I have to, or else. And you'll be working with a partner, and you'll be scripting their answers to I have to or else, and then you can either take a picture of it and send it to them later in whatever form you want to. It's most important that it just gets out, because there's something about seeing those fears in black and white that let you take it out of your head, and it becomes not quite so true when you see it in black and white.
You know, and it seems actionable. When it's inside our head, it seems like it's in control. When we put it on a piece of paper, it's something that we can work with, something that we can do something about.
So you'll have a partner, and you'll each have 10 minutes to work with your partner, so 20 minutes total. And if you finish before your 10 minutes, you can take a quick bio break, because we will be coming back at
25 after.
25 minutes after. That'll give you a 5-minute bio and 10 minutes each to work on your drivenness generator. Anybody else have a question? And if you have time, go ahead and verify it. Is this true? Is it false, or is it a don't know?
When you get in your breakouts, it's your choice. If you wanted to do the 5-minute break first, you can do that as well. So just check with your partner and make that decision.
Yeah. So it's now straight up on the hour, Karen?
Okay, so are we moving back to 25 minutes then? Because we just communicated 20 minutes.
Well, she's gonna
No.
add the break.
Yeah,
He's gonna,
5-minute
he's
break.
adding the
Let's do-
5-minute break to
Okay.
that.
Yep.
That way you have a choice of how you're gonna manage it with you and your partner.
Thanks for checking.
Mhm. So take a breath as you're going into your room.
Okay, it looks like they will have a little timer in the rooms because where I opened the breakout rooms, it does give me a little timer.
Oh,
Perfect.
So
that's
that's a nice little feature in the updated version of Zoom.
And it looks like we're back on schedule. So yay,
Okay.
Yes.
quite amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, the recording, Ross, do you want to pause?
Thank you.
And I was going to check in, did you want them to be the people that they're with now as support partners? Because I actually looked, there are people from most countries. So for example, Dieter and Rafilwe could be support partners.
Mhm,
And Jen and Susie could be support partners because they're both in the UK.
mhm.
Greg's the only one from New Zealand though.
Yeah, because Sean dropped out, but Raina Shea and Janet want to be partners because they're planning to do a course together in November. And
Oh, then
so Pari and
then that-
Linda. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I just wanted to say, yay, then it worked out well because they happen to be in the same room now, Janet and
Ah.
Rena Shea.
Okay, perfect. And Linda Early said that she would be happy to be with Pari, who is not here today because they've worked together before, and I think that's a good combination. So it should work out because we've got 10 signed up for the class, 9 here today.
I mean, I'll check in with Sitlopo tomorrow. It may just
I hope that was helpful to get some of this out of what holds you back. And so we've got some time for some shares. What did you discover that was really some of your mind talk about holding you back from leading a course? And welcome, Sitlopo. Glad you're here. Who's willing to share? Susie.
It's funny actually, because it's really like I was still a child. It's not about the teaching. It's about I have to talk to millions of people and I'll be in really big trouble if I don't. So it's a real old thing, like I have to do what I'm told. And that's made it quite well, I used to teach a lot and I don't think I thought about that then, but as I've healed kind of backwards, that's that I know that's been what's holding me back.
Yeah, those
So
beliefs from childhood, we drag those forward.
Yeah, and it's not about the teaching, and so that's I've really told the truth on that. It's absolutely not true that I'm going to get into trouble because I love talking to people. I wouldn't be on this call, but I didn't want to come on the call, so that must have been you know, that I've been made to come on the call somehow, which is absolutely not true.
Thank you, Susie.
Yeah, thank you.
Who else? What else did you discover in your partner, with your partners? Raina Shea?
Well, kind of similar. One piece of mind talk that really kind of surprised me was that you know, if I'm not perfect, right, good, and do it, you know, that I'd be punished. So I would, that definitely brought back, you know, reminisce of childhood things. So that was an interesting piece to reveal.
Yeah, kind of unexpected, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think the people in my course are gonna punish me or my co-facilitator. So clearly that's coming from somewhere else.
Mhm. Yeah, and your job is to not punish yourself.
Right.
Thank you. Who else? What are you noticing as your fears
Jen?
or some of your mind talk? Dita?
One of my fears is that I won't get any people. I will have no participants, and that if I do, it's difficult for me to ask them for money because I don't attach enough value to my knowledge. So I feel a bit like a fraud. What I realized though is that many people, it's part of why I'm here, really is about the marketing, sourcing people. I'm looking for the answers, and it is true. I actually don't know enough about the marketing or the setup or fee structure, and those are resolvable things, whether it was from here or asking for help. So what comes up is I don't like to ask for help because I'll do it on my own, because otherwise, and it goes into another drama. And so, yeah, there's a lot that plays out, and then some of it is I have to be good enough or else. Yeah, so it's all there, tucked
Yeah, it's
underneath.
quite a high bar we put for ourselves, right? I have to be perfect. I have to know it all. I have
Yeah.
to be good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm my own worst whip. So there we have it. Yeah.
I think that's true of all of us, Dita. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who else? What did you see?
Jen, I saw you come off of mute a minute ago. Did you intend to come off mute? Did you have something to share? No? Okay.
Setlopo, we cannot see you. Can you turn on your video, please? Okay. Anybody else had something surprising that came up for you? Some mind talk you didn't know you even had.
So it's interesting. It seems like everybody's pretty aware of their mind talk, not surprised necessarily by what came up. What do you make of that? What does it mean that we're all aware of our own mind talk and then we still don't do classes? Because it's an interest. I'm curious because I think this is not unique to this group. I think this is something that a lot of people encounter. And if we knew the answer to that question just for us alone, it'd be great. So we know what our mind talk is. What's happening? Rufilo.
So
what I'm choosing is I've just made up that the course is too expensive, and I think it got me into a resigned mode. Considering the license fees, the venue hire, and what you want to take out of it is it's just too expensive. Nobody can afford it. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can afford it. Even though all of us paid in the first place to become licensed facilitators and continue to pay for courses, it's easy for that mind talk of people can't afford it.
And that's the place where you can start getting creative. You know, Sylvia and I have done a lot of classes together, and it's our intention that people are able to come in paying what they're able to. As many as possible that have the means will pay the full price, and then other people will still come in. And so that's how we've adjusted it to try and make it still available to people. So the other nice thing about online is you don't have to have a venue. and that saves that cost. So there's various ways about going about it that actually may result in a situation that you really enjoy and that works for you.
And Amina will talk with us later in the course about really approaching it as a business. And if we, I mean, the fact that we put 15% back into the organization, it requires that we charge enough so that we make what we want and still have that amount to do. I think we do it backwards sometimes. We take what's left over instead of saying, what do I want to make? And then go forward. So we'll be exploring a lot of that going forward.
Thanks.
So Ross is going to lead us through a bit of a guided meditation to see a little bit different lens for ourselves.
Yeah, well, like I noted, we're all really aware of our habitual mind talk, the core beliefs and guided beliefs that we tend to fall into. But there's another side of us that we don't necessarily engage with as much. And the more we can learn how to engage with that, the better we'll be able to deal with the mind talk and also to inspire ourselves and others. So this is just a bit of a short guided meditation, 3 to 5 minutes, something like that. So find yourself comfortably in your chair, allowing your chair to support you, backbone straight, chest open so your lungs are able to easily breathe in and breathe out. And start a body scan from your toes. And notice any uncomfortableness, pain, tension, and just release it with each exhale. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Allow yourself to relax. Settle back into your spirit. There's nothing to do in this moment. Nothing that you have to be. Just be. Whatever that essential self was, is maybe a time when you're a little kid and you're just free. Or a time you facilitated somebody and they let go of something that's been painful to them for a long time. Times where your spirit aligned with your purpose. It's just the freedom in that. Trust and faithfulness in yourself and what is. Continue coming home to yourself. Deeper and deeper, settle into who you are at your core, how your essence has existed in the world in your lifetime. Become deeply present to your spirit. As if the world is slowing down. You're just in that slow momentum of your spirit. That preciousness that you carry with you every day. Sometimes we put up on a shelf. Let's put it right back, smack in the center of our hearts. And let that feeling spread all through your body. Nothing else present. There's something here that's always been true about you that you can call on when you need it. shows up when it's urgent. It's always been true about you that serves you as a teacher or a leader or a facilitator of others' healing. Facilitator of your own healing. We want to be so familiar with this place. We want to be able to find it easily. One breath. Coming back home. This is the conduit that allows us to create the space for other people's journey. Intentional but not attached. Compassionate alongside. Safe. Empowered. Present. Gentle. Just allow that to resonate in you. That bell exists. It doesn't take much to ring it. Allow it to resonate. Notice what you're feeling now, here. How easily the air comes in and out of your lungs. Your heart continues its march. That amazing presence that you are, undiluted. Fully home. From that space, allow that space to speak. And what words does that space have about your essence as a teacher and a healer, a leader, a loving, compassionate human? Just listen. So gently take 3 conscious breaths and bring yourself back to the space. Holding those words. That sense of why it matters to you and what's called in you. Another breath or 2. Come back and connect with these pathmates on the journey with you right now. People all over the planet. We're all side by side.
Thank you, Ross.
Yeah, we'd like to hear about you now. What you found, what those words are, just some shares. So this is a space we sometimes have difficulty finding. So what did you find?
Competent.
Mhm.
Competent.
And what was the feeling that went with competent?
Kind of like a sense of pride.
Mm. Mhm. Kind of like?
Well, my mind talk is
Nope, no mind talk, just a feeling.
I felt grounded.
There, there. Just a simple truth. Thank you.
It's
Good.
important that, go ahead, Greg.
Just found a real peacefulness and relaxation.
Mm. Yes, thank you.
Anybody else feel some peacefulness? Mhm. Yeah.
Susie, you're off mute. What did you
So
find?
from that space,
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about what it is.
I discovered that I was an angel.
An angel. There we go. Yeah.
Did you ask me, Ross?
Yeah.
That I'm an angel who spreads my wings and makes people better.
Mm.
Yeah.
That becomes a touchstone.
And while I was in that beautiful meditation just now that you did, I found myself remembering so many people on so many calls that I impacted in various rooms. Yeah.
yeah, good for you.
Yeah. And that
But
was true.
Yeah, it is true. Dita, did you want to share what you found?
Yeah, that touched me very deeply. There was a lot that resonated for me. So just listening, I realized that when I'm out of demand and when I'm out of judgment, I can let go of the distrust. And if I'm not avoiding or procrastinating, then I can stand in my compassion and I can deliver and hear and actively listen. And I am a good facilitator. I've been doing this work a long time, and the times I don't do this well is when I'm in demand or angry and mostly at myself. So just listening to that and coming up with these things that when I let go of and I don't need to keep them, in part of that drivenness, I found that sense of openness and peace and compassion and lovingness, not just for others, but for me and my gratitude. So that was very deep. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
So you may want to, after we're complete today, spend some time writing down what you found. And that was recorded. So you can rewatch the video and I'll go out and pull out an audio for that. So if you just want to listen to that on its own, you'll have that available. Thank
So
you.
we're going to look into a little bit deeper exploration of your why. What is your why for wanting to do that? And the way that we're going to explore that is by using one of the tools, the purpose generator. So Ross, can you flash that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I say I can. Let's see.
I want to lead a class so that we can get in touch with really, why are we wanting to do this in the first place? I want to, so that. And these are your gems of gold here, your so that's, because it will really reveal what your purpose is, a bigger purpose than just taking a class. So again, you'll be with a partner and you'll have 10 minutes each to explore what your purpose is. Why do you want this? Don't forget to feel your feelings and use your breath. And again, you can script for your partner, and then you can share in whatever way you want to share with that person. Any questions?
Right,
we be
right
with-
from that space that you just found. Go ahead, Janet.
Will we be with the same partners?
Don't know. Life is going to give you a partner.
Life
All
named
right.
Karen's life today.
Yeah.
In her life, Karen Klein's.
Yeah. So go ahead and open to a clean spot and just write, I want to, so that. So that when you are in the room with your partner, you'll be ready to go. This is a gift to us because very seldom do we really ask ourselves what we want and why.
So it's that Lopo and Greg, you should have an invite. I think Karen, they're assigned to rooms, aren't they? Yeah, you should have an invite about joining a breakout. I think Greg's trying to. Looks like he's
Frozen.
just logged, so he's probably switching. There we go. Send Lopo. Oh,
There we
Well
go.
done, Karen.
yes.
Yay.
Cool.
So they will come back at 10 minutes after the hour. So let's take a quick look at about our timing.
Yep.
So if they start at 10 after with some shares, maybe let the sharing be 10 minutes, Ross, instead of 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
We have an extra 5 minutes to put somewhere,
yeah, well,
so we can.
extra 5 minutes always gets sucked up.
Oh, no, but yeah, if you notice that the timeline ends at 3:25 and we go to 3:30, so there's 5 there. So that
Oh,
means when we
absolutely.
come back at 3:10, we're on time.
Yeah. And then talk about support partners, and I've made a list of support partners. And I will put it in the chat.
Ross, I want to say that was a lovely meditation.
Thank
You were
you.
going slow and gosh, what's the word? Not purpose. There's another word, but purposeful comes to mind. You know, just when it was needed at certain times, you brought it down to the right level and depth and level that you really sink into it. Like you said, you know, go home. You know, where's home? Just with one breath. It's that. Like, spot on.
Thank you. We could just get the planet to learn how to do that, we'd be in a lot better shape. I like being able to take one that's recorded in an actual session, because I can record stuff like that, but if it's not in the moment with the group and the experience that we've had, it's not the same. So I think this will be a lot, a lot richer because of the setting. No, get some water. I'll be right back.
So I have the partners listed in a chat, and when we get to it, I'll just flash it on there. It's amazing how fast 2.5 hours goes. We thought that 2.5 might be easier for people than 3 hours, easier to enroll. But it also does mean your timing has to be really crisp. I know in teaching with Ann Max, sometimes she'll be 2 hours behind on the schedule. And I think, how in the world are we ever going to catch up? And boom, she just wraps it up and the flower flowers.
I must admit, when I start hearing 3-4 hour workshops, I'm like, no, it's okay, you know. But if you tell me anything less than 3, then I say, yes, that's doable. I can sit for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But if you ask me anything after that, my mind begins to wander. I'm getting very old now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried about your age.
Yeah. And I need a cup of tea.
Well, you've got time to go get one.
Friends laugh at me when I say, I need a cup of tea. It's 9 o'clock. And they go, what? How old are you?
Yes, but you get up mighty early too. Mhm. So Karen, would you like to share about your interview that you went on? How did it go?
Yeah, well, I think it went well. After I settled into myself after the first 2 questions, I was just myself. I relaxed, and yeah, we had good interaction, or I thought had some good interaction. The room was set up a little bit, I don't know, indifferent to me. So I had 3 people interviewing me, a long table. So I'm sitting in the middle of the long table. One person is sitting at my 2 o'clock, one is sitting at 11 o'clock, and then one all the way at 9 o'clock. So it's like, so I tried to look at everybody and, yeah, just think I was myself. At one stage, I created a little presentation for one of the questions that I had to prepare. So I opened up the laptop and I wanted to put it down, and there was water on the table. I just looked around the room. I said, oh, there's a basin and they have tissue paper. I didn't say anything. I just got the tissue paper, wiped it. And I noticed how they like, oh, okay. I wiped it, reset the computer, and then, went on with my presentation. So I was really comfortable to just be in that moment. So I don't know what the end result will be. Before we started, they did say that they had hundreds of applications, and it is a privilege to actually sit and have an interview. So yeah, so we'll see. I'm open and non-attached. It would be great if I can get it. I really enjoyed exploring the area. I think for me, my next couple of years of my life is really creating the lifestyle that I want. And I really want to be more active. I want to be in nature, and I will have lots of opportunity there. Like, people are running next to the river, people are rowing, they're out on the stand-up paddles. Like, yes, I can see myself get into some of that stuff. And it's easy accessible. I don't have to drive half an hour to get somewhere to do it. It's right there in the city. So it would be a few things I would like to, other reasons why I would like to get it, other than, having an opportunity to give back from all my education over the past couple of years. So let's see.
Yeah.
I think in the next 10 days, I will have an answer.
And at least, whether it goes either way, you had the experience of putting yourself forward and doing something that was courageous to do.
Yes. Yeah, and I think I have already said before the time, even if it was just for that, to learn to step out and put myself forward, because with that, it also meant I, in the meantime, updated my LinkedIn profile. It's another way of putting myself out there, which is not something that I easily do. Like even with my massage business, I've always just relied on word of mouth. So I'm not easily to put myself out there in that way. But I think it's going to take practice. And if I want to do certain things, and especially if I want to facilitate this work, it will mean that I'm going to be creating a personal brand and find a way to put myself out there, because I can't have a lighthouse without the light on. I've got to switch on the light. So
Yeah.
I have to write that one
Yeah.
down. You can't have a lighthouse without the light on.
So guess why you're here, Karen, on this course?
yeah, no, I'm very aware. Actually, in the visualization, I saw all these lighthouse lights come on
Did you?
in the
Oh,
meditation. So yeah.
And isn't that true about what happens when we lead a course? That you do see the lights coming on, you do see the connections being made, and it starts from within us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we had no idea what this course would look like when we started. I think actually Beth, brought it to us and said, hey, we need something. And I think she was spot on. I looked at the list of over 300 licensed facilitators around the world, and only less than 10 are teaching.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of disappointment and regret in those other folks, I would imagine.
And the longer you stay away, the more impossible it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we still have the recording going.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
We'll rely on our editor, our IT editor.
Oh, yeah, see, when I've got the chat open, I don't see the recording